This is NET, the National Educational Television Network.
This concludes our broadcast day on Channel 13 WNET, owned and operated by the Educational Broadcasting Corporation, assigned to Newark, New Jersey, and serving the tri-state metropolitan area. This is a non-profit, non-commercial television station broadcasting 7 days a week. Until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, when we begin the day with Yoga for Health, from the staff and management of the Educational Broadcasting Corporation, this is Carla Meyer wishing you a good night.
Of that country settle the issue themselves.
Thank you, Mr. Galb. Sorry to interrupt you. Thank you, and Senator Clark. Thanks, Jim. Lloyd Garrison, Mr. Figueredo, thank you. Jim Lehrer and I will be back on Monday evening. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night. Tomorrow night, I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
For a transcript, send $1 to the McNeil Lehrer Report, Box 345, New York, New York, 10019. The McNeil Lehrer Report was produced by WNET and WETA. They are solely responsible for its content. The program was made possible in part by grants from public television stations, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Exxon Corporation, and the Ford Foundation.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. We'll see how this goes after that White House meeting on Thursday. That's all for tonight. Jim Lehrer and I will be back tomorrow night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
For a transcript, send $1 to the McNeil Lehrer Report, Box 345, New York, New York, 10019. The McNeil Lehrer Report was produced by WNET and WETA. They are solely responsible for its content. Funding for this program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by grants from Exxon Corporation, Allied Chemical Corporation, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
coming here this evening to help us. Good night, Jim.
Good night, Robin.
Thank you. That's all for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
For a transcript, send $1 to the McNeil-Lehrer Report, Box 345, New York, New York, 10019. The McNeil-Lehrer Report was produced by WNET and WETA. They are solely responsible for its content. Funding for this program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by grants from Exxon Corporation, Allied Chemical Corporation, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Thank you very much, gentlemen in Washington. Good night, Jim.
Good night, Robin.
Good night, gentlemen. That's all. We will be back tomorrow night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
For a transcript, send $2 to the McNeil-Lehrer Report, Box 345, New York, New York, 10101. The McNeil-Lehrer Report was produced by WNET and WETA. They are solely responsible for its content. Funding for this program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by grants from Exxon Corporation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and AT&T and the Bell System companies. For a transcript, send $2 to the McNeil-Lehrer Report, Box 345, New York, New York, 10101. The McNeil-Lehrer Report was produced by WNET and WETA. They are solely responsible for its content. Funding for this program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by grants from Exxon Corporation and AT&T and the Bell System company.
Thank you for joining us in Washington, Mr. Kellner in New York. Good night, Jim.
Good night, Robin.
That's all for tonight. We'll be back on Monday night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
Funding for this program has been provided by this station and other public television stations, and by grants from Exxon Corporation and AT&T and the Bell System company.
I'm Jim Lehrer. Thank you and good night.
The McNeil-Lehrer News Hour is funded by the new AT&T, more than a new look, a new outlook, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by this and other public television stations. For a transcript, send $2 to Box 345, New York, New York, 10101.
bounce. Me bounce?
Why, certainly. Look, you got the feet for it.
I have?
Sure. Come on, try it. It makes you feel just great.
Well, say, it does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, come on, everybody. Bounce.
Come on, bounce. The wonderful thing about tigers, it's figures are wonderful things. The tops are made out of rubber, the bottoms are made out of springs. The bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about tigers is I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Tomorrow night, I'm Jim Lara. Thank you and good night.
The McNeil-Lehrer News Hour is funded by AT&T, reaching out in new directions. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and this station and other public television stations. For a transcript, send $2 to Box 345, New York, New York, 10101.
Funding for the McNeil-Lehrer News Hour is provided by AT&T, whether it's telephones, information systems, long-distance services, or computers. AT&T. Funding is also provided by this station and other public television stations. And the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
And we will be back tomorrow night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
Funding for the McNeil-Lehrer News Hour is provided by AT&T. Whether it's communicating the sound of one's voice or data, the AT&T network moves information in all its forms across the country and around the world. AT&T. Funding also is provided by this station and other public television stations, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
For a transcript, send $2 to Box 345, New York, New York, 10101.
Oh, God. Look down here and show me the strength. Father! Strength! Strength!
And would accept the committee's recommendation that he pay restitution. Good night, Jim.
Good night, Robin. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'm Jim Lara. Thank you and good night.
Funding for the News Hour has been provided by PepsiCo. Every day we enjoy people being cold to us. cutting us up, getting fresh with us, tearing into us, and calling us chicken. In fact, the more people do it, the happier we are. PepsiCo. And by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, a catalyst for change. And by AT&T. And made possible by the financial support of viewers like you and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Schools, public libraries, other organizations, and home viewers may purchase NewsHour video cassettes by calling toll-free 800-424-7963.
This is PBS.
Funding for the NewsHour has been provided by AT&T. AT&T has supported the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour since 1983 because quality information and quality communication is our idea of a good connection. AT&T, the right choice. And by PepsiCo. And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And by the financial support of viewers like you.
For tonight, have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Monday night. I'm Robert McNeil. Good night.
Funding for the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour has been provided by PepsiCo. PepsiCo. Part of helping the world live and communicate better is keeping it well informed. That's why funding for the NewsHour is also provided by AT&T and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you.
This is PBS.
I began to actually enjoy reading the books because we were desperately poor, never had enough money to do anything, but between the covers of those pages, I could go anywhere in the world, be anybody, do anything. You know, my imagination began to run wild. I began reading about research chemists, and I could see myself in a laboratory pouring things from test tubes to beakers and seeing the foam rising. And I became excited and began to visualize myself in intellectual capacities. And you know, within the space of a year and a half, I went from the bottom of the class to the top of the class. And one of the interesting things is when I thought I was stupid, I conducted myself like a stupid person, and therefore I achieved like a stupid person. And when I was smart, or I was smart all along, obviously, but when I thought I was smart, I began to conduct myself accordingly and to begin to achieve accordingly. So it says a whole lot about expectations. And this is one of the critical areas in our society right now. We need to find ways to elevate the expectations, particularly of those individuals who may start off on a lower socioeconomic rung, who might be seen as disadvantaged. But, you know, the reason I say be seen as disadvantaged is because life is so short and there's so much that can change. And basically, you know, if you look at 75 years of life, you've got 20 to 25 years to prepare yourself or not prepare yourself, and 50 years to either reap the benefits or suffer the consequences. And we need to work very hard on those 20 to 25 years.
Dr. Ben Carson, neurosurgeon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Again, the major stories of this Tuesday. Media giants Viacom and CBS announced they will merge in a $37 billion stock deal, and Indonesia imposed martial law in East Timor as tens of thousands fled marauding militias. We'll see you online and again here tomorrow evening. I'm Jim Lehrer. Thank you and good night.
Imagine a system that produces and distributes food and helps improve nutrition and health here and abroad. Who is building such a global network?
And by Solomon Smith Barney.
Will you ever buy options on a rock star? One thing's for sure, opportunities abound. Solomon Smith Barney. Success is earned.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the annual financial support from viewers like you. Video cassettes of the NewsHour with Jim Lehrer are available from PBS Video. Call 1-800-328-PBS-1.
This is PBS.
Science. We'll see you online and again here tomorrow evening with Shields and G Go, among others. I'm Jim Lara. Thank you and good night.
Imagine a system that produces and distributes food and helps improve nutrition and health here and abroad. Who is building such a global network?
Helping serious investors relax, knowing their investments are truly diversified. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This program was also made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. Video cassettes of the News Hour with Jim Lehrer are available from PBS Video. Call 1-800-328-PBS-1.
This is PBS.
Major funding for the PBS News Hour has been provided by...
I do a lot of different kinds of exercise, but basically, I'm a runner. Last year, I had a bum knee that needed surgery, but it got complicated because I had an old injury. So I wanted a doctor who had done this before. And United Healthcare's database helped me find a surgeon. You know, you can't have great legs if you don't have good knees.
We're 78,000 people looking out for 70 million Americans. That's health in numbers. United Healthcare.
This is the engine that connects zero-emission technologies to breathing a little easier while taking 4.6 million truckloads off the road every year. BNSF, the engine that connects us.
Bank of America, committed to helping the nation's economic recovery. Chevron, investing in renewables, strengthening communities, and creating jobs. Intel, sponsors of tomorrow.
The William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, working to solve social and environmental problems at home and around the world.
And with the ongoing support of these institutions and foundations. And
this program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
And for margarita drinkers, well, you know.
Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home.
You can reach for the stars with an audio recording by Carl Sagan. Or take the direct Stairway to Heaven with Led Zeppelin.
It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen.
Feeling a bit of deja vu yet?
Sweet dreams are made of the end.
Enjoy Sweet Dreams with Eurythmics. Travel country roads with John Denver.
Take me home, country road.
Shake whatever you've got left to Daddy Yankee's smash hit Gasolina, the first reggaeton recording added to the registry. And if you're thinking of all-time great songs, you can only imagine what has to be on the list.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown.
And apparently for the first time, a video game tune was inducted, the theme to Mario Brothers.
That's right, which we all know by heart. Would you like to sing it?
I'll leave it to you.
Thank you. Meanwhile, that is the News Hour for tonight. I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. Thanks for spending part of your evening with us.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by...
For 25 years, Consumer Cellular's goal has been to provide wireless service that helps people communicate and connect. We offer a variety of no-contract plans, and our U.S.-based customer service team can help find one that fits you. To learn more, visit consumercellular.tv.
And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. And friends of the NewsHour, including Jim and Nancy Bildner, and Kathy and Paul Anderson. The Ford Foundation, working with visionaries on the front lines of social change worldwide. and with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.
The power of inquiry, the joy of discovery. The Alfred P. Sloan Foundation.
Funding for The Sun Queen is provided by supporters of the GBH Planet Future Fund, including Barbara and Amos Hostetter, Lynn Bay Dayton and Bruce C. Dayton, Rita J. and Stanley H. Kaplan Family Foundation Incorporated, and members of the Better Angel Society, including the Fullerton Family Charitable Fund and Bobby and Polly Stein. American Experience is also made possible by the Robert David Lyon Gardner Foundation. Members of the Documentary Investment Group, including the Gretchen Stone Cook Charitable Foundation and Nancy and Rainier Bucas. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.